And should we start with the Congress, actually?
Yes, this is a film by an Israeli filmmaker called Ari Folman. It's based on a book by Stanislav Lem, who wrote Solaris, the famous sci-fi movie that was made by Andrei Tarkovsky, and then later by Steven Soderbergh as well. Ari Folman's last film was an animated documentary called Waltz with Bashir. I don't know if you remember it. It was about the Lebanon War, and it was animated because it was to do with reconstructing these suppressed memories, these kind of memories that have almost become dreams in people's minds of participating in that war. And in the Congress, he develops that theme even further. It begins as a live-action movie. Robin Wright is playing a version of herself whose career has basically gone completely off the rails. And her agent, who's played by Harvey Keitel, who you imagine would be a terrific agent because he would threaten to, I don't know, behead you if you didn't give your job. But he plays her agent, and he comes to her and says, OK, so this studio have a very unusual proposition for you. So they go in to listen to the studio boss, who's played by Danny Houston, explaining this new job that they want to give her.
We at Marymount want to scan you, all of you, your body, your face, your emotions, your laughter, your tears, your climaxing, your happiness, your depressions, your fears, longings. We want to sample you. We want to preserve you, and we want to own this thing called Robin Wright.
And what will you do with this thing that you call Robin Wright?
We'll do all the things that your Robin Wright wouldn't do.
Like what?
Like all the movies that you missed out on because of your lousy choices. You gave in, you gave up, you fled, you quit. God knows what you did. And you did it at the last minute, and you clogged our productions, and you cost us millions. How old are you?
What difference does it make how old I am if you're going to create me at any age on your computer? What difference does it make to you if I'm 16 or 60?
It doesn't. I need Buttercup from Princess Bride. I need Jenny from Forrest Gump. I need, what was her name, from State of Grace. That's who I need. I don't need you. I need you only for your history.
It begins as this very kind of spiky, science fiction inflected take on Hollywood and what it means to be an actor and to have your personality captured by a film and put up there and put out there. And it's essentially, it's beyond your control. And so Robin Wright is given this offer by the studio that they're going to scan her from every angle, that she's going to, run through every emotion, and then she will never have to act again. In fact, part of the contract is that she will never act again. And the studio will be free to use her likeness in whatever film they like. So that's how it begins. Then we fast forward 20 years after she's been scanned into the system. And the world has, it's almost, in fact, like the rover. There's some kind of a weird post-apocalyptic division has occurred. And rich people are using a certain type of mood-altering drug that makes the world appear animated and beautiful around them. The world is actually a terrible place. It's, very, very poor. Everyone's ill. Everyone's starving. But she takes this drug when she arrives to this Congress event. She takes the drug and is transported into this incredible animated world. And the film then kind of swerves away from its original purpose and becomes this kind of tribute to countercultural animation. This stuff like Ralph Bakshi and Robert Crumb and René Laloux and directors like that who made all these absolutely fantastic animated films. She gets lost in this kind of dream world, almost, in fact, also slightly like Terry Gilliam's Brazil, in that it's a satire of the people up above and the people down below. And there's this insane cocktail of filmic references all the way through, and you're spotting, wait a minute, that's someone who was in a Fleischer Brothers cartoon in the 20s. That's someone from here, that's someone from there.
Grace Jones.
Exactly. Grace Jones. Tom Cruise shows up, I think probably without Tom Cruise's permission. He doesn't really say anything.
He's in Tom Cruise in the credits,
of Tom Cruise,
as a character.
Yeah, the image of Tom Cruise is there. Now, I think the film is kind of two halves of very fascinating and entirely separate movies, and I'm not sure the welding point really holds when you're watching it. I love all those old animations, and I loved seeing them being paid tribute to on screen. Ari Folman is an incredibly thoughtful and smart filmmaker, but he doesn't quite marry it up with this satire element at the start. And you're watching that and you think, I want to see this continued more. What kind of films is Robin Wright, the avatar of Robin Wright, going to end up making? We see some clips of a sort of a superhero movie that she's made with the studio, but it doesn't really go beyond that. And so for me, it was intensely frustrating because it was almost great twice and it ended up being not great once.
Yeah, I thought it was such a brave and interesting approach in terms of that whole subject matter of, an aging actress and the fact that she was, putting herself out there as herself. And, you hear the references to Forrest Gump and other roles that she's done and stuff. And I just thought that was such an interesting subject matter. And like you say, I wanted to see and hear more of it. And then the whole kind of animation bit, I was just like, what?
It's intensely trippy. I mean, in a good way. It's very enjoyable. And if the film ends up directing people back towards Folman's influences, like René Laloux. I mean, my goodness, go out and watch some René Laloux films. They're just superb. The Fantastic Planet was just a wonderful animation. That's heavily referenced in the Congress. But I think possibly this just doesn't quite hold up.